What if the secret to deep, lasting attraction wasn't a secret at all? What if it was a language? A language spoken not through clever pickup lines or grand gestures, but through quiet actions, unspoken intentions, and a grounded sense of self that resonates with something ancient and true within the human spirit. For decades, men have been sold a bill of goods. We've been taught to chase, to impress, to perform. We've been told to be the loudest voice in the room, to show off our success like a peacock displays its feathers, to prove our worth at every turn as if life were one long audition. But what if that entire model, the one pushed by society, by media, by a culture of noise, is fundamentally broken? What if the things that a woman truly, deeply, and instinctively craves in a man are things she would never, ever think to put into words? Not because they are manipulative secrets, but because they are not words at all. They are feelings. They are experiences. They are the invisible architecture of trust, respect, and profound desire. The title of this video is a bold claim, but let's be absolutely clear. This isn't another list of hacks or tricks to get a girl. Such things are the domain of boys, not men. This is a philosophy. This is an exploration into the character of a man who is so secure in himself, so present in his life, that his very way of being becomes the source of attraction. It draws on the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, men like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the playwright and advisor Seneca, the slave-turned-teacher Epictetus. They understood that real power, real strength, and real attraction don't come from control over others, but from mastery over oneself. The 6 things we are about to discuss are not tasks to be checked off a list. They are virtues to be embodied. They are principles that, when lived authentically, create a powerful, silent energy. It is an energy that women are profoundly, instinctively, and often inexplicably drawn to. So, if you are tired of the games, tired of the guessing, tired of feeling like you're always one step behind, and ready to understand the deeper currents of human connection, then you have arrived at the right place. Welcome to the Dating Older Women channel, a community dedicated to building lives of purpose, confidence, and genuine connection. Before we begin this journey into the heart of authentic attraction, I ask you to do one thing that matters. Take a moment and hit that subscribe button. By doing so, you are not just joining a channel, you are making a conscious decision to join a global movement of men dedicated to becoming their best selves. Your support allows this vital message to reach more men who need to hear it. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the unspoken language of attraction. Let's delve into the 6 principles that resonate with her deepest self, even if she never, ever asks for them out loud. Principle 1. Lead your own life with unapologetic purpose. The single most potent, magnetic, and attractive quality a man can possess is not found in his bank account, his gym routine, or his social calendar. It is purpose. A man who is on his own path, guided by his own internal compass, and committed to his own mission, is the most compelling force in the universe of human dynamics. Most men make a fundamental, catastrophic mistake when they meet a woman they are truly interested in. They subtly, and sometimes overtly, put their own life on hold. Their mission, their hobbies, their deep work, and their personal goals, they all get demoted. Their new primary focus, their new purpose, becomes winning her attention and approval. They become reactive instead of proactive. They check their phone with a nervous energy, waiting for her text to dictate their mood. They will tear up their schedule at a moment's notice to be available for her. They begin to unconsciously mirror her interests and opinions abandoning their own in a desperate search for common ground. In doing this, they believe they are showing her how much they care, how much she means to them. But the message received is tragically different. What they are actually communicating in a silent, powerful broadcast is, "My own life is not particularly interesting or important. My sense of self is not fixed. It is contingent on your validation. My happiness depends on you." A woman will never tell you this. She will never say, "Please have a rich, compelling life of your own that doesn't revolve around me." She won't say, "I want to see you so passionately engaged in pursuing your goals that you sometimes forget to text me back immediately." But she feels it. She feels it on a deep, primal, biological level. When a man has a mission, whether it's building a business from scratch, mastering a musical instrument, dedicating himself to a social cause, or the disciplined pursuit of becoming a better man, he radiates an energy of forward momentum. His life has a narrative. It has a direction. He is the protagonist of his own story. A woman doesn't want to be the story. She wants to join a compelling one. She wants to be a vital, cherished character in an epic, not the sole subject of a short story. She wants to co-author a new, exciting chapter with a man who is already writing a great book. Let's go deeper with the story of Theodore Roosevelt. After the near-simultaneous death of his wife, Alice, and his mother, Mitty, in the same house on the same day, a lesser man would have been utterly shattered, consumed by a grief from which he might never recover. Roosevelt was devastated, writing in his diary a single stark entry: "The light has gone out of my life." But he did not wallow. He did not seek pity. He took his grief and his purpose and hurled himself into the crucible of the American West. He bought 2 ranches in the Dakota Badlands, a place as harsh and unforgiving as his own sorrow. He decided that he would become a cattle rancher. This wasn't a whim. It was a mission. He told a friend he was going to work like a Trojan to master this new life. He didn't do it to impress the elites back in New York. He wasn't looking for a new partner to soothe his pain. He was on a deeply personal mission of survival, of rebuilding his own soul, of testing his limits against the brutal indifference of the natural world. He hunted grizzly bears. He endured brutal winters. He led his cowboys on grueling roundups, and he even tracked down and captured thieves who stole his riverboat, marching them for days back to justice. He was living a life of intense, unapologetic, self-directed purpose. He was writing his own legend, not for an audience, but for the salvation of his own character. And what was the result? This story, this raw energy, this sheer force of will became so compelling that it drew people to him. It drew the nation to him. He became a magnet for respect and admiration because his life had a powerful, undeniable forward momentum. He wasn't looking for a world to be a part of. He was creating his own, and people desperately wanted in. That is the energy women are drawn to. A man with purpose is not needy. A man on a mission doesn't seek validation from a relationship because he gets a deep, sustaining sense of validation from his own efforts, from the struggle, from the progress he makes on his own path. This creates a paradox that most men fail to comprehend. The less you need her for your own happiness, the more she will often want to be a part of it. When your happiness and sense of worth are not dependent on her constant attention, it frees her from the immense, suffocating pressure of having to be the sole source of your emotional stability. This freedom allows her to relax, to be her authentic self, and to feel genuine, unburdened desire, rather than a heavy sense of obligation. How to embody this principle? The common mistake is when she texts. You drop everything and reply instantly, proving your availability. You clear your entire weekend just in case she wants to do something. The Stoic path, however, is to protect your time. Your mission comes first. This doesn't mean you're a neglectful jerk. It means the relationship is integrated into your life, not the tyrannical center of it. If you have dedicated Tuesday nights to working on your project or hitting the gym, you honor that commitment. When she asks to hang out, you don't lie. You say with genuine warmth, "I'd love to see you." Tuesdays are my dedicated project nights, but I'm free Wednesday or Thursday and I want to take you out. Let's do something then. The unspoken message. This isn't about being difficult. This communicates discipline, reliability, and self-respect. It says, "My time has value. My commitments matter. I am a man who honors his own word, starting with the word he gives to himself." These are all deeply attractive qualities. Another common mistake is when you adopt her hobbies and interests as your own, even if you have no genuine passion for them, hoping to manufacture a connection. The Stoic path is to share your passion. You don't just state it. Don't just tell her, "I'm building a business." Let her see the light in your eyes when you describe the challenges. Let her feel the energy when you talk about your vision. Your genuine passion is infectious. When she sees you lit up by your own purpose, she will want to be closer to that fire. And you, in turn, should be genuinely curious about her purpose, creating a dynamic of two whole, passionate individuals coming together. Let's consider another, quieter example. The minimalist architect, John Pawson. His purpose is not loud or adventurous. It is the relentless, lifelong pursuit of simplicity, light, and order. His entire life is structured around this aesthetic and philosophical mission. He doesn't bend his principles to trends. He follows his own austere path. The result? His work is revered globally. He has a cult-like following. People are drawn to the clarity and unwavering conviction of his purpose. A woman will never explicitly say, "Show me that your life would be whole and profoundly meaningful, even without me." But when she sees that it is, she will feel an overwhelming desire to be a part of that well-built, self-sufficient world. Your purpose is your anchor. It keeps you grounded in the storms of life. It gives you direction, and it makes you the kind of solid, self-reliant man that a woman can truly respect, admire, and desire. Lead your life. The right woman will not distract you from your path. She will be inspired by it, and she will want to walk it with you. If this principle has started to resonate with you, and you want to understand how to apply this to the dating world, I highly recommend checking out the free training guide we offer on our website. You can find the link in the description. This guide will give you even more practical steps on how to cultivate and demonstrate this kind of purpose in your daily life. It's a game changer. Principle 2. Create a space of absolute emotional safety. This is one of the most misunderstood, counterintuitive, and yet most critical principles of deep, lasting attraction. Most of modern masculinity has been built on a flawed premise. We're taught that women are attracted to the alpha male, the tough guy, the man who is emotionally impenetrable, stoic in the corrupted sense of the word, meaning unfeeling. A man who never shows weakness. And while confidence, resilience, and strength are undeniably attractive, there is a vast and crucial difference between confident strength and an emotional fortress. One invites people in, the other keeps them out. A woman will never say to you, "I have a deep, unspoken need for you to create an environment where I can express my most irrational fears, my deepest insecurities, and my most chaotic thoughts without any fear of you judging me, dismissing my feelings, or immediately trying to fix me. She will never ask for this directly. It is a need so profound, she may not even be able to articulate it herself. But the man who can provide it, instinctively and consistently, becomes a sanctuary. And in a chaotic, judgmental world, a sanctuary is the most valuable, most addictive, and most cherished place a person can find. Emotional safety is the bedrock of all trust. And without trust, there can be no true intimacy. Without intimacy, there is no lasting desire. It is that simple. So what does it mean to create emotional safety? It is not a passive state. It is an active skill. It boils down to one primary discipline: the ability to listen. Not just to passively hear words, but to actively listen to the emotions behind the words. When a woman comes to you with a problem, a frustration, or a fear, the average man's immediate pre-programmed instinct is to go into fix-it mode. She says, "I had such a stressful day at work. My boss is being so unfair and I feel completely overwhelmed." He immediately leans forward, his mind racing for a solution. "Okay, well, here's what you should do. First, document everything. Then, you should go to HR. Have you tried talking to his superior? You need to be more assertive in the meetings." He genuinely thinks he is being helpful. In his mind, he is demonstrating his value, his competence, and his ability to solve problems. He is showing her that he can be her hero. But what he is often doing, unintentionally, is a series of destructive things. He is subtly invalidating her feelings. He is implicitly saying, "Your emotions are an inconvenient problem to be solved, and I, the logical man, have the solution." He is taking the focus off her experience and putting it on his solution. He is, in a way, making the conversation about him. The man who creates emotional safety does something radically different. He is a listener, not a consultant. She says, "I had such a stressful day at work. My boss is being so unfair, and I feel completely overwhelmed." He pauses. He puts down his phone. He turns his body to face her, giving her his full, undivided attention. He lets her words land, and he says something simple and powerful like, "That sounds exhausting. Tell me what happened." He does not offer a single solution. He offers his presence. His presence is the sanctuary. He creates a space for her to unpack her feelings without the pressure of interruption or immediate problem-solving. He becomes a detective of her emotions. He asks clarifying, open-ended questions. "What was the hardest part of that for you? How did that make you feel when he said that? Wow. What did you do then?" He understands a fundamental truth that most men miss. When a person is venting, they are not looking for a consultant. They are looking for an ally. They are looking for someone to sit with them in the emotional trench for a moment, to acknowledge the validity of their struggle. "You are right to feel that way," is infinitely more powerful than, "Here is what you should do." Once she feels truly heard, understood, and validated, her nervous system calms down. The stress hormones recede. And from that place of calm, she can often find the solution herself. By trying to solve her problem for her, you can inadvertently rob her of the opportunity to feel capable and resilient. By simply listening and validating, you empower her. How to embody this principle? The common mistake is she's upset, so you tell her, "Don't worry about it. "It's not a big deal," or "You're overreacting." You are trying to minimize the problem, hoping to minimize her pain, but you are actually just dismissing her reality. The Stoic path is to practice what the philosopher Simone Weil called attention. You recognize that her emotional state is her reality in that moment. You don't have to agree with it, but you must respect it. You say, "I can see how upsetting that is for you." You align with the feeling, not necessarily the facts. This single shift is game-changing. A common mistake is you get angry or frustrated when she is emotional because her emotions make you uncomfortable. You want her to just be happy. The Stoic path is to create emotional safety because you are, yourself, emotionally consistent and reliable. This is where Stoicism is so critical. A man who is a slave to his own anger, his own jealousy, his own insecurities, cannot possibly create a safe space for anyone else. His emotional volatility makes the environment unpredictable and dangerous. If she feels that saying the wrong thing might trigger an angry outburst, or that expressing a friendship with another man might ignite a jealous interrogation, she will start to walk on eggshells. The connection will die from 1,000 tiny moments of self-censorship. The Stoic man, however, practices emotional regulation. He feels anger, but he is not controlled by it. He feels jealousy, but he examines it with logic and does not act on it impulsively. His emotional weather is calm and predictable. This consistency is a powerful, unspoken statement. You are safe with me. My ego is not so fragile that your feelings or actions can shatter it. A woman will never say, "I am deeply attracted to men who have done the internal work to manage their own emotional triggers so that they can be a non-reactive sounding board for my own feelings." But she will feel an immense, almost magnetic sense of peace and relaxation in the presence of a man who has. She will find herself opening up more, trusting more, and desiring him more, because he offers the rare, priceless gift of a non-judgmental presence. So, the next time she comes to you with a problem, take a breath. Resist the urge to fix it. See it not as a problem to be solved, but as a bid for connection. Turn towards her, listen with your full being, and simply say, "That sounds hard. I'm here. Tell me everything." Watch what happens. You will be providing something that all the money, status, and charm in the world cannot buy. You will be providing sanctuary, and a woman will never want to leave a man who feels like home. And if you're finding this kind of wisdom valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Consider sharing this video with a friend or in a community that could benefit from this message. Your share helps men everywhere build more meaningful, authentic connections. Principle 3. See and value her for who she is, not what she looks like. In our visually obsessed, image-saturated culture, this principle is more powerful, more radical, and more necessary than ever before. From a very young age, women are relentlessly bombarded with a single, pervasive message. Their primary value lies in their physical appearance. Every advertisement, every movie, and every curated social media feed reinforces this narrow and damaging idea. As a result, most men learn to communicate within this very framework. The most common, default form of compliment a man gives a woman is about her looks. "You're beautiful. You have amazing eyes. I love your smile. You look hot in that dress." Let's be clear, these are not evil things to say, but they are profoundly limited. They are compliments about the what, not the who. They praise the vessel, but they completely ignore the precious contents within. They are easy. They require no real observation, no real presence, no real thought. A woman will never explicitly say to you, "Please look past my physical appearance, which I have been taught to value above all else, and instead recognize the specific, hard-won qualities of my character, my intellect, and my spirit. She will never ask you to do this. But her entire being, the part of her that yearns for genuine connection, craves it. The man who can see and, more importantly, articulate his appreciation for her inner world becomes a beacon of light in a sea of superficiality. He becomes unforgettable. This is about the power of specific, character-based recognition. Consider the difference between these two compliments. Compliment A: "Wow, you look really nice tonight." Compliment B: "I was really moved by the kindness you showed the waitress earlier, even when she was flustered. That says a lot about you." Compliment A is pleasant. It might make her smile for a moment. It is forgotten in minutes. Compliment B can be remembered for years. Why the vast difference? Because compliment B says, "I see you. I see your actions. I see the virtue behind your actions. I see your character. I see the things that you have actively cultivated within yourself, not just the genetic lottery you happen to win." Let's deepen our historical example. We mentioned Voltaire and Émilie du Châtelet. Society saw Émilie as a beautiful, fashionable aristocrat. But Voltaire saw a firebrand intellect. He didn't just admire it from afar, he engaged with it. He championed her work. He debated with her for hours. He treated her as an intellectual equal, which was a radical act in the 18th century. He once told a friend that Émilie was a great man whose only fault was being a woman. This wasn't just about her intelligence. It was about her character. He admired her courage to pursue science in a world that told her to focus on parties. He respected her discipline to translate Newton's Principia Mathematica, a monumental task. He valued her resilience in the face of academic ridicule. He was attracted to her virtues. He saw the who. By creating an environment where her true self was not just seen but celebrated, he won a level of devotion and intellectual partnership that was the envy of Europe. How to embody this principle? The common mistake is that your compliments are a generic shotgun blast. You tell her she's amazing, awesome, or incredible. These words are so overused, they have lost all meaning. They are praise, but they are not recognition. The Stoic path is to practice mindful observation. You become a student of her character. You watch for small moments when she demonstrates a virtue, a quality of her inner self. Patience. Does she show incredible patience when dealing with a frustrating person or a technical difficulty? That is a moment for recognition. Later, in a quiet moment, you can say, "You know, I was really impressed by how patient you were earlier." Not many people have that kind of composure. Loyalty. Does she tell a story that reveals her fierce, unwavering loyalty to her friends or family? That is a moment. You can say, "It's amazing how loyal you are to your people. That's a really rare and admirable quality." Courage. Does she admit a fear or a mistake or a vulnerability? That takes immense courage. You can say, "Thank you for sharing that with me." It takes a lot of strength to be that honest. Creativity. Does she show you a piece of art she made, a poem she wrote, or a solution she devised for a problem? You don't just say, "It's good," you get specific. "I love the way you use that color here. It feels so adjective." You are seeing her choice, her effort, her soul. Notice the powerful formula at play here. Specific observation of an action, plus identification of the underlying character. Trait, virtue, plus sincere expression of respect or admiration. This is the polar opposite of flattery. Flattery is often vague, insincere, and aimed at getting a reaction. This is a report of your genuine observation. It feels real because it is real. You are simply holding up a mirror and showing her the most beautiful parts of herself, the parts that she has built with her own effort, the parts that she may feel are completely invisible to the rest of the world. A woman knows, on an intuitive level, when a man is truly seeing her versus when he is just looking at her. The feeling is night and day. When she feels truly seen and valued for her character, a deep sense of trust, relaxation, and connection is forged. The internal monologue it creates for her is powerful. This man is different. He isn't just attracted to my face or my body, things that will fade. He is attracted to me, the essential me. This also has a profound, transformative effect on your own perception. When you actively train yourself to look for virtue in a woman, you become a more discerning man. You start to be attracted to qualities that lead to a healthy, lasting relationship. Qualities like kindness, resilience, integrity, and intelligence. Your own standards are elevated. You stop chasing shiny objects and start seeking out hidden treasures. So the next time you are with a woman, make it a silent mission. Look past the obvious. Find a moment of her character in action. And when you see it, find a quiet, simple, sincere way to acknowledge it. Don't just praise her beauty. Praise her courage. Don't just praise her outfit. Praise her kindness. Don't just praise her smile. Praise her resilience. You will be speaking a language that her heart deeply understands, even if her ears have rarely had the pleasure of hearing it. You will be giving her one of the rarest and most sought-after gifts a man can offer. The profound, unforgettable feeling of being truly, deeply, and completely seen. If this idea of seeing beyond the surface resonates with you, you're on the right path. This is exactly the kind of deep connection we talk about here on the Dating Older Women channel. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more wisdom like this. Principle 4. Embrace and skillfully create playful tension. In our modern, safety-conscious world, many well-intentioned men have been conditioned to be overly cautious, excessively agreeable, and pathologically nice. The fear of offending, of being perceived as aggressive, or of saying the wrong thing has led to a dominant style of male-female interaction that is often sterile, predictable, and frankly, boring. These men try to find common ground on every single point. They agree with all her opinions. They laugh nervously at all her jokes, even the ones that aren't funny. They create a conversational space that is completely smooth, completely safe, and completely devoid of any spark or electricity. A woman will never, ever say to you, "I wish you would challenge me a little more. I wish you would tease me playfully. I wish you would create some exciting, flirtatious tension between us instead of just nodding along with everything I say like a bobblehead doll." She will never say this. In fact, if you asked her directly, she might even say she wants a nice guy. But we must understand what nice truly means. Nice does not have to mean boring. Nice does not mean a doormat. There is a profound difference between being a kind, decent, respectful man and being a predictable people-pleaser who lacks a personality of his own. Women are not attracted to men who are cruel, arrogant, or disrespectful. But they are incredibly, powerfully attracted to men who are confident enough in themselves to be playful, to challenge them, and to create a sense of fun, mystery, and unpredictability. This is the high art of creating playful tension. It is the electricity that flows between two people who are confident and secure in themselves and are enjoying the dance of interaction. It is not about conflict. It is about spark. It is not about fighting. It is about flirting. Think about the most memorable and beloved on-screen romances. Consider Han Solo and Princess Leia in Star Wars. Their entire dynamic is built on a foundation of playful tension. He teases her, calling her your worshipfulness, She challenges him, calling him a scruffy-looking nerf herder. They don't always agree. There is a spark in their banter, a push and pull that is infinitely more engaging and attractive than if they had just been polite and agreeable to each other from the start. This dynamic is compelling because it feels real, it feels alive, and it is exciting. How to embody this principle? The common mistake is to put her on a pedestal. You treat her like a queen to be worshipped. You agree with everything she says, hoping your agreeableness will be mistaken for kindness. You become her yes man. This dynamic is not one of passion, it's one of servitude. The artful path is to treat her as an equal, a playful rival. You create tension from a place of confidence and warmth. You are not teasing her to be mean or to assert dominance. You are teasing her because you enjoy her company. You are not intimidated by her, and you are comfortable enough in your own skin to be playful. Your tone must be warm, your smile must be genuine, and your eyes must be friendly. Let's break down some specific techniques. Playful misinterpretation. This is a classic. You take what she says and intentionally, playfully interpret it in a slightly absurd way. Oh, she says, "Oh my gosh, I'm such a nerd. I spent all weekend binge-watching a documentary series on Roman architecture." Oh, the agreeable, boring response. "Oh, that's really cool. I think history is interesting too." Conversation slows down. Oh, the playful, tension-building response. You look at her with a mock-serious, concerned expression and say, "Wait, let me get this straight. You're telling me you spent 48 precious hours of your one and only life watching documentaries, on purpose. I might need to organize an intervention. This is serious." You must say this with a smile in your eyes so she knows you are joking. This does several things at once. It shatters the predictable conversational pattern. It shows that you were listening carefully. It creates a fun, low-stakes moment where she gets to be playfully defensive. She might laugh and swat your arm and say, "Hey, it was interesting." The conversation now has a completely new level of energy and fun. The playful challenge. You challenge her opinion in a low-stakes, fun way. Oh, she says, "This is the best coffee shop in the entire city, hands down." Oh, the agreeable response. "Yeah, it's really great. I agree." Conversation ends. Oh, the playful response. "The best in the entire city. That is a very bold claim, madam. A dangerously bold claim. I'm pretty sure my little coffee machine at home makes a better cup than this. I'm going to need to see some peer-reviewed scientific evidence to back up this assertion." Again, the tone is everything. It's light, fun, and exaggerated. You are not actually attacking her opinion. You are creating a playful challenge. You are communicating that you are your own man, with your own thoughts, and you are not afraid to express them. This is a powerful demonstration of confidence. Giving a playful nickname. This can be very effective if done right. If she tells a story about how she tripped in public, you might later refer to her as Grace. It has to be based on something in your interaction and used sparingly and with warmth. This kind of playful teasing must be done with calibration. It's a dance. You have to be aware of her personality and her reactions. Is she laughing? Is she playing along? Is she teasing you back? If so, you are doing it perfectly. If she seems genuinely offended or uncomfortable, you have miscalibrated, and you should immediately ease off and return to a warmer, safer, conversational style. The Stoic connection here is subtle but profound. The Stoics believed in being indifferent to external opinions and events. This doesn't mean being cold or uncaring. It means not having your internal state, your peace of mind, be dependent on whether someone agrees with you or not. A man who can playfully disagree with a woman is demonstrating that he is internally secure. He doesn't need her to agree with him to feel good about himself. This self-contained confidence is the very foundation upon which playful, flirtatious tension can be built. A woman will never say, "Please stop being so agreeable and create a more exciting, unpredictable, and flirtatious dynamic with me." But when you do, she will feel a sense of fun, of spark, of aliveness, of excitement that she simply does not feel with the man who is constantly tiptoeing around, terrified of saying the wrong thing. Don't be afraid to tease. Don't be afraid to challenge. Don't be afraid to have your own opinion. As long as you do it from a place of warmth, respect, and fun, you will be creating the kind of memorable, spark-filled interactions that lead to genuine connection, deep rapport, and powerful desire. If this idea of being a more confident and playful man intrigues you, make sure to like this video. Your engagement helps us reach more men who need this message, and it tells me to keep creating content on these topics. Principle 5. Demonstrate unshakable, observable integrity. In a world that often seems to reward shortcuts, moral flexibility, and carefully curated self-interest, the man of unwavering integrity has become a figure of almost mythical rarity. He is a unicorn in a field of horses. And yet, on a deep, subconscious, and often unspoken level, integrity is one of the most powerful and enduring attractors for a high-quality, discerning woman. Let's define our terms. Integrity is not about religious dogma or rigid ideology. It is the quality of being honest and having strong, well-reasoned moral principles. It is the observable alignment of your words, your actions, and your values. It's about being the same person when you are alone in the dark as you are when you are in the public spotlight. It's about doing the right thing, especially when it's hard, and especially when no one is watching. A woman will never put on her dating profile, must possess demonstrable, unshakable integrity. She will never say to you on a date, "Tell me about a time you chose the harder right over the easier wrong." But her entire being, her intuition, and her subconscious mind are finely tuned instruments for detecting its presence or its absence. She watches, she listens, she senses it. She sees it in the way you talk about other people, especially those not present. She sees it in the way you conduct your business. She sees it in the way you treat the waiter, the janitor, and the rideshare driver. A man can be charming, handsome, witty, and successful. But if he lacks integrity, a woman with any depth of character will feel an underlying sense of unease around him. She will sense, even if she can't articulate it, that he cannot be fully trusted. And as we've established, without trust, there is no foundation for anything real or lasting. Let's deepen the story of Abraham Lincoln. His nickname, Honest Abe, wasn't a clever marketing slogan invented by a campaign manager. It was forged in the fires of his daily life, year after year. The story of him walking miles to return a few pennies to a customer is famous. But there are others. As a young lawyer, he once shared a practice with a partner who passed away, leaving behind debts. Lincoln was not legally obligated to pay them. He could have walked away, declared it a business loss. Instead, he spent years of his life paying off every last cent of his deceased partner's debt, a burden he called the national debt. Why? Because his internal compass, his commitment to his own values of honor and responsibility, was more important than the convenience or financial ease of the moment. This unwavering integrity built a reputation that became his most valuable political asset. In the chaos of the Civil War, people trusted him, even when they disagreed with him, because they knew his word was his bond. They knew he was a man who could be trusted when the stakes were the highest imaginable. This is the kind of character that inspires not just respect, but deep, abiding devotion and trust. A woman feels this on a micro level in her daily interactions with you. It is not about grand gestures, but small, consistent actions. How integrity is revealed and how most men fail. How you talk about your work. Oh, the man lacking integrity. Brags about cutting corners, cheating the system, or getting away with something. My boss is an idiot, so I totally padded my expense report. He thinks this makes him sound clever. It makes him sound untrustworthy. Oh, the man of integrity speaks with quiet pride about doing honest, quality work. He might even talk about a time he took a small loss to do the right thing for a client. He is showing he values his reputation and principles over a quick buck. How you talk about other people. Oh, the man lacking integrity. Engages in gossip. He speaks ill of his friends or colleagues behind their backs. A woman listening to this thinks, if he talks about them like that to me, how does he talk about me to them? The man of integrity refuses to participate in gossip. He either changes the subject, or even more powerfully, offers a charitable interpretation of the other person's actions. He builds people up, even when they aren't there. How you handle your promises. Oh, the man, lacking integrity, says, I'll call you tomorrow, and then doesn't. Says, I'll be there at 7, and shows up at 7:30 with a casual, unapologetic excuse. His words are cheap. Oh, the man of integrity. His word is his bond. If he says he will call, he calls. If he is running late, he communicates it ahead of time with a sincere apology. This isn't about being rigid. It's about demonstrating that you respect her, you respect yourself, and that your commitments have weight. One of the most powerful, unfiltered windows into a man's soul is how he treats people from whom he has nothing to gain. The way you speak to a waitress, a janitor, a customer service representative, or an elderly person struggling with their groceries is a direct reflection of your character. Are you patient, respectful, and kind? Or are you dismissive, arrogant, and demanding? A woman is always watching this. She knows, with a certainty that runs bone deep, that how you treat a stranger when you think no one is looking is eventually how you will treat her, once the initial chase of courtship is over. The Stoic philosophers called this living in accordance with nature, which meant living in alignment with reason and virtue. For a Stoic, your character was your fate. A man of integrity is attractive because he is predictable in the best possible way. He is reliable. He is a rock in a world of shifting sand. In a culture of moral ambiguity and situational ethics, being a man of your word, a man of unwavering principle, makes you a pillar of strength. It tells a woman, in a language louder than any words, that her heart, her trust, and her future would be safe with you. She will never say, I am incredibly aroused by men who exhibit a consistent and observable moral character. But she will feel an immense sense of security and a profound admiration for the man who does. She will trust him, she will respect him, and she will desire him, not for the fleeting, chaotic thrill of a bad boy, but for the deep, lasting security and attraction of a truly good man. So look at your own life. Where can you cultivate more integrity today? Keep your promises, especially the small ones. Speak truthfully and kindly. Treat everyone with dignity. Be the kind of man who would walk a mile to return a few pennies. Your character is being forged in those small, unseen moments. And believe me, the right woman will see it as clear as day. If you're serious about mastering these qualities and becoming the man you were meant to be, I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button. It's the first step in joining a community of men who are not just talking about wisdom, but actively living it. Principle 6. Hold your frame and be unafraid to lose her. This final principle is the keystone. It's the one that locks all the others into place. It is the most advanced, the most difficult to master, and for that reason, the most powerful. It is the principle of non-attachment, or what we can more accurately call holding your frame. A man's frame is his reality. It is the composite of his values, his boundaries, his standards, and his mission in life. A man with a strong frame lives inside his own reality. He is the king of his own inner kingdom. He graciously and warmly invites a woman to enter and share that kingdom with him. But he does not abdicate his throne or collapse the castle walls the moment he feels a strong attraction, or, more importantly, a fear of loss. Most men do the exact opposite. They have a weak, porous frame. The moment a woman they desire shows them interest, or worse, pulls away her interest, their frame shatters. They become completely reactive to her reality. Her mood dictates their mood. Her validation dictates their self-worth. Her presence or absence becomes the sole determinant of their happiness. A woman will never, ever say to you, "Please be so grounded in your own reality and purpose that you are demonstrably willing to walk away from me if our core values don't align or if I fail to treat you with respect." She would never articulate such a thing. But it is the single greatest and most definitive test of a man's strength of character. The man who is secretly terrified of losing her will do anything to keep her. He will apologize when he has done nothing wrong. He will tolerate disrespect, flakiness, and emotional games. He will abandon his own friends, his hobbies, and his mission to be at her beck and call. He sacrifices his own integrity and self-respect on the altar of her approval. And paradoxically, this desperate, needy, clinging energy is the very thing that acts as a powerful repellent. It smothers attraction. It communicates weakness at the deepest level. The man who holds his frame operates from a different universe. He is kind. He is loving. He is invested, but he has boundaries, etched not in sand but in stone. He has standards for how he expects to be treated, and he is, in the quiet certainty of his own heart, willing to lose her rather than lose himself. This is the ultimate expression of self-respect, and it is profoundly attractive. Let's revisit the Stoic teacher, Epictetus, to understand the raw power of an unbreakable frame. Born a slave, physically crippled, owning nothing, he was by all external measures the most powerless of men. Yet he was a titan because his frame, his inner world, was his own. The story goes that his master, Epaphroditus, a powerful Roman courtier, was twisting Epictetus's leg, perhaps as a cruel joke or a test of his philosophy. Epictetus, in no position to fight back, did not beg or cry out. He simply looked at his master with calm detachment and said, "If you keep twisting, it will break." His master, likely enraged by this lack of emotional reaction, twisted harder, and the bone snapped. Epictetus's only response, without anger or self-pity, was, "See? I told you it would break." He was not his leg. He was not his master's opinion of him. He was the calm, observing consciousness within. He was willing to lose his leg rather than lose his inner composure, his freedom, his frame. This man, who owned nothing, could not be broken because he was not attached to anything outside of his own mind and character. This is an extreme, historical example, but the principle is the same. in the high-stakes emotional world of modern relationships. How to hold your frame. Practical scenarios. The disrespect test. She is consistently, significantly late for dates and offers only flimsy excuses. O. The weak frame. You say nothing, burying your frustration. You communicate that your time is not valuable. O. The strong frame. The next time you talk, you say calmly and without anger, "Hey, I really value our time together, and it's important to me that we're on time for each other. It feels disrespectful when you're consistently late. I need you to be able to meet me on that." If the behavior continues, you withdraw your attention and investment. You are willing to lose the girl rather than be consistently disrespected. Is the values mismatch test. You value honesty and direct communication. She plays emotional games, uses passive aggression, or tells white lies. O. The weak frame. You ignore it, hoping it will go away. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. O. The strong frame. You address it directly. It seems like we have different ways of communicating. I operate best with directness and honesty. This dynamic of mention the specific behavior doesn't work for me. You are willing to lose the girl rather than live in a relationship that violates your core values. The hot and cold test. She's incredibly warm and engaged one day, and distant and cold the next, trying to make you chase her. Oh, the weak frame. You immediately panic and chase harder. You text more, call more, ask, "Is everything okay?" a dozen times. You reward her inconsistent behavior with more attention. Oh, the strong frame. You don't play the game. You recognize her withdrawal, and you mirror it by pulling back your own energy. You get busy with your purpose. You focus on your life. You give her the space she is asking for. You are communicating that your emotional state is not for rent. You are willing to lose her, rather than participate in manipulative games. This is not about being a cold, unfeeling robot. It is the ultimate act of caring, for yourself, for your own mental health, and for the potential health of any relationship you enter. The man who is afraid to lose a woman has, in a crucial sense, already lost her. She can feel his fear. She can smell his desperation, and it repels her. The man who is willing to lose her, not out of arrogance or ego, but out of a deep and abiding self-respect, is the only man she can truly trust. She knows his kindness is not a tactic. She knows his love is not a function of his neediness. She knows he is with her by conscious, powerful choice, not by quiet desperation. This creates a profound sense of security and freedom for her. She is free to be her best self, knowing that he will not abandon his own principles. She can test the boundaries of the relationship and find not a weak and collapsing wall, but a strong, stable, and loving pillar. She will never say, "Show me that you value your own self-respect more than you value my constant presence in your life." But when you demonstrate it through your calm, consistent, and courageous actions, you become the kind of man she has been searching for her entire life. A man who is a rock. A man who is a leader. A man she can build an empire with. So, know your values. Define your boundaries. And be willing to walk away, not with anger, but with the quiet dignity of a man who knows his own worth. The fear of loss is a prison, and only the man who is free can be truly, deeply, and lastingly desired. Conclusion. The man who needs nothing attracts everything. We have journeyed through 6 principles. This was not a list of tricks. It was a philosophy of being, a roadmap to becoming a man of substance and quiet strength. Lead with purpose, because a man on a mission is the most compelling story a woman can ever hope to be a part of. Create emotional safety, because a sanctuary in a harsh world is the rarest and most valuable gift one soul can offer another. See her character, because recognition of the soul is infinitely more profound than any compliment paid to the surface. Embrace playful tension, because spark, fun, and unpredictability are the very lifeblood of excitement and flirtation. Demonstrate integrity, because trust is the absolute non-negotiable bedrock upon which everything real and lasting must be built. And hold your frame, because a man who respects himself is the only man a woman can ever truly, deeply respect. Do you see the golden thread that weaves all of these principles together into a single, powerful tapestry? It is the principle of self-possession. It is the Stoic ideal of the inner citadel. The man who embodies these qualities is not seeking anything from a woman. He is not seeking validation, because his mission gives him that. He is not seeking happiness, because he cultivates that within himself. He is not seeking to have an empty void in his life filled, because he has done the hard work of making himself whole. He is, in the words of the Stoics, self-sufficient. And from this place of profound fullness, he can engage with a woman not out of a desperate need, but out of a genuine, powerful desire to share his already complete and compelling life. This energy, calm, confident, non-needy, and free, is the very essence of true masculine attraction. The world will tell you to chase. It will sell you lines, routines, and manipulative tactics. But ancient wisdom tells us a different, truer story. It tells us to turn inward, to build our own fortress of character, brick by painstaking brick, to become so solid, so grounded, so rooted in our own being that we cease to chase the world, and instead, the world becomes drawn to our gravity. This is not the easy path. It requires discipline. It requires radical self-honesty. It requires the courage to face your own weaknesses and do the hard work of turning them into strengths. But it is the only path that leads to the kind of deep, authentic, and lasting connection that all of our hearts truly seek. So I ask you now, not just to be a listener, but to be a practitioner. Take this knowledge and apply it. Don't just be a consumer of information. Be a living example of wisdom. Pick one of these 6 principles this week, just one, and make it the focus of your meditations and your actions. Live it, embody it. And if this message has resonated with you, if it has sparked a fire of recognition within you, then solidify your commitment to this path. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of men who are choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. We also have a newsletter where we dive deeper into topics like these. You can sign up using the link in the description. It's a great way to get more exclusive insights and wisdom delivered directly to your inbox. Finally, leave a comment below and tell us which of these 6 principles you will begin to cultivate in your own life, starting today. When you engage, you are not just helping a channel grow. You are casting a vote for a new standard of masculinity, one based on inner strength, not outer performance, on character, not charisma, on integrity, not illusion. Thank you for your time and your most precious asset, your attention. Now go and continue the great work of building the man you were meant to be. The rest will follow.